In T-minus 4 days and 2 hours, the Orange Line will shut down for 30 days, uprooting the commutes and lives of roughly 100,000 people and adding a lot more traffic into the lives of plenty more, while a massive construction effort goes on through, we hope, only September 19th. That's on top of a Green Line station in Somerville that closed just months after it opened and is now being replaced with shuttle buses, and the new branch set to open in Medford, which is now on hold till November. This comes just a few weeks after an Orange Line train caught fire on a bridge over the Mystic River in Somerville, forcing riders to escape out of windows, one jumping into the river. And today officials were blunt about what the next few weeks will hold.
Traffic congestion is expected to be severe. We are urging travelers to evaluate their commute and, if possible, adjust. Look for a route that avoids the shuttle diversion if you must drive in, and shift your travel time to off-peak hours. If possible, avoid the region altogether until the diversion period has concluded.
Avoid the region altogether. I'm joined by the mayor of Medford, Breanna Lungo-Koehn, who's been trying to get her city ready for Friday, and Rick Domino, president and CEO of A Better City. Rick and Mayor, good to see you both. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Mayor, I know it's a moot point. Friday is going to happen, but was shutting down the Orange Line the right decision to be made?
I think it's a good thing that the MBTA and MassDOT are working to make the T service safer and replace tracks that are 40 years old. But I do feel that more time and thought should have went into the planning, more communication to mayors, town managers, where cities are going to be affected so greatly.
And by the way, for those who weren't clear what I said a minute, you're getting a double whammy. Not only are you getting no Orange Line, you're getting no extension of the Green Line into Medford. Postponed, and now postponed in November. I don't know you. Are you a betting woman? Would you bet November is actually going to happen?
I sure hope so, but what we've seen with delays to open the Tufts Medford location, it's a possibility that could extend further. But I'm really hoping that we can get our Green Line open.
So Rick, you wanted to split the baby, if I understand. I think your recommendation was if you're going to shut down, just do it through Labor Day. But with people back to work and schools and stuff, reopen after that and do it, weekends or whatever. Did you get a hearing on that proposal, or was that just ignored?
No. Thankfully, I did get a hearing, Jim. And obviously, at the end of the day, just last week, I was called by the governor's office, and they said that they were going to be moving forward the 4-week full shutdown. Now, I really think, and I'm very empathetic and sympathetic to the mayor's concerns, that this could have been done better. It seems really abrupt to be announcing a 4-week shutdown of a major rapid transit line, especially, and Jim, you know this, in the first 2 weeks of September, which is one of the most challenging commuting times in the region and in the city of Boston.
You know, Rick, one of the things that is amazing to me, one of the co-hosts of our morning show rode the Orange Line today, as we just said, saw no signs. Most of the commuters didn't even know, at least at random sample, that there was about to be a shutdown in 4 days. Those that didn't have alternative plans. 4 days out, do we have a clear sense of what's happening with these shuttle buses, what's happening with reconfiguration of streets, all that sort of thing, Rick?
I think the general public is still getting their arms around this whole idea. And to be honest with you, I think there's still a major gap, Jim, in what the public understands about this and the confusion around this. I think they're working very aggressively to try to get the word out. But, as you know, I'm fortunate, and I know the mayor, we get briefed where, we understand the details of this, but I think there's a big gap in terms of the general public's knowledge of all this.
But Mayor, when Rick just said the mayor gets briefed, my understanding is late last week you were complaining that you had several calls set up with the T, each of which was canceled. Is that what actually happened?
That's correct. When I first learned about the shutdown in general, we had a call scheduled for 10 a.m. prior to. and that got canceled due to IT issues. And then there was one canceled the following Monday. Now it's a little different. We have an 8:30 a.m. call, an 11 a.m. sometimes, a 2 p.m., a 3 p.m. with all on different subjects. So you're trying to kind of hop on ones that fit in your schedule. You have your team members hopping on certain ones. You're all trying to collaborate and figure out, what did you learn at 8:30? Okay, I learned this at 11. Oh, well, you're going to hop on the 2. I'm going to try to I'm on a meeting with the mayors at 3:30 to try to, get the GM to talk to us, which was what happened today. So it's really trying to piecemeal some of these meetings. And then some of the frustration comes where you're in a meeting and they're talking about what you mentioned at the beginning of the segment. Please avoid the area. Please use alternate transportation. Please work from home.
So, Mayor, we'll get to your constituents in a second. Do you feel, to use Rick's expression, are you able to wrap your arms around what is going to happen in Medford? Are you there yet or no?
No, a lot of these calls, you don't have clear answers. I've asked repeatedly with 2 other mayors, especially, please allow some of those 160 shuttle buses to be express buses from our individual T stops,
Right.
Because you're going to have crowding on these buses. They're going to go to the next stop, be completely full. Maybe 1 or 2 people get off, if that. But we need express shuttles from, I'll speak for myself, from Medford directly into Boston in order to not create these delays for our residents and T riders that need to get into either medical appointments, school,
Understood.
Colleges and universities are opening, or get into work, essential jobs. Not everybody can stay home.
But you didn't get a commitment. I assume you haven't gotten a commitment on those express buses yet, have you, or have you?
No, we have not.
Rick, I want to read to you a statement. I'm sure you've memorized this already, from the chief of streets in Boston today. Over the coming days, we will undertake an unprecedented effort to reconfigure streets in ways big and small to ensure that the shuttle buses can operate safely and efficiently on Boston streets. I don't mean to laugh. I live in Inman Square in Cambridge. They've been reconfiguring Inman Square for the last 3 years, and they finally did something this Saturday, which seems to have promise. Is this doable? Can streets be reconfigured in predictable, efficient ways in a handful of days?
That's the point. Yeah, if you got the right planning time and the right community engagement process and the right analysis that suggests where you can do these strategic, interventions on streets to make them operate better for buses. Yeah, but the city started really leaning in on this about 2 weeks ago. So that's no way to run a street system. And it's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be pretty chaotic. The mayor used that word and then kind of pulled back. But there's going to be, plus we don't have a bus system in the downtown. They're going to be going to Back Bay, and they're going to be going to North Station. And then we have this kind of big hole in the donut where lots of stations won't be served. And I think the mayor's point about express bus service is a good one, but we haven't gotten any commitment on that either, Mayor.
So we were the most congested city, if I remember, pre-pandemic. Traffic is up to pre-pandemic levels. Give me a description, Rick, of what you think the next several weeks is going to be like in Boston and Greater Boston.
Well, the last 2 weeks of August, we kind of hopefully will see not as much of a challenge, although it will be. I mean, Jonathan Gulliver, who's our highway administrator, got it right, Jim. 20% slowdown in the region. We got, avoid the region. That was the word of the highway administrator. Even in those last 2 weeks of August, it's going to be challenging, but maybe a slight benefit to vacationers. But Jim, come the day after Labor Day, there is no time in my history as a transportation official or as a public official would I would have taken an action like this relative to those first 2 weeks of September. You have young school children looking to get to school. You have students getting into universities with streets being closed. You have our region needing access to community colleges and universities. You have jobs and workers from Medford and down the entire corridor from the north, as well as transit-dependent riders on the Orange Line, as well as in Medford, that count on the T because it's their only means of transportation. and you're going to take this on the first 2 weeks of September. You know, that's why we came up with an alternative plan. And one last point, Jim, it would have only added 5 weeks to the schedule, 5 weekends.
But they're not doing it.
They're not doing it. So we're stepping into, let's do our best to help. We're doing that, but I did want to offer an alternative plan. We're in the business of offering those kind of suggestions, but I wish they chose to do it, but we're now trying to.
Rick, very quickly, I know you say the second 2 weeks. Are you convinced that this will be over in 30 days, or are you not? Quickly, if you can.
No.
That's what I figured. Mayor, back to you. So a constituent calls you tomorrow morning and says, I got to get to my kid's doctor, I got to get to school, I got to get to work, add to the list whatever you want. Please tell me what to do. What do you tell him or her?
If it's necessary, we mention the commuter rail options. We direct them to the MBTA's website, which has the rider's guide, which is lengthy, but kind of all we have to go off of. And then we also say, depending on the call, we let them know what we're fighting for and what we're trying to get the T and MassDOT to do to help us alleviate some of the traffic overcrowding, long wait times.
But they also will hopefully be watching you tonight, being candid enough to say that even you don't know what the plan is with 4 days to go, yet they have to figure out, with a little bit of guidance from you, hopefully some from the T, how to survive the next 30 days plus. That's the bottom line, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Hey, Rick, one last thing for you. In light of the fact that we only have 30 seconds left, they rejected your notion to do the 5-weekend deal rather than the couple of weeks come. Do you have any suggestion for them how to mitigate the pain of those 2 weeks, or it just is what it is? Quickly, if you can.
Yeah, I would say they really need to ramp up the commuter rail line, as the mayor was suggesting. Jim, they can run much faster service and much better headways than they're currently planning. And I really hope they'll lean in and do that and partner with Keolis to get that done.
I thank you both. Mayor, I'm glad I'm not you, but it's good to meet you nevertheless. And Rick, thank you as always. Really appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thanks, Jim.